what's happening with the Parkinson's community. To that end, we'll ask first of you, Ken, if you would just describe for us what is Parkinson's disease? What is it?
Yeah, it's a neurological disease where it's the lack of dopamine. Your brain's not producing dopamine, which controls your motor functions. And it really plays havoc on the body.
Like, how does that manifest?
People get motor
function.
functions,
Okay.
stiffness, slowness, and just a number of things. Tremors, and most people get tremors when they first start noticing something, and they go to the doctor and they check them out, and it's Parkinson's.
Okay. So that's pretty much how it manifests.
Yes.
And it doesn't go away. There's no fix. Is that correct?
No, there's no cure for it right now. They're doing a lot of studies, clinical studies, and such, and it's just they don't have a cure for it yet.
Okay.
And we're like snowflakes. There's no two of us alike. I might have tremors. John might have stiffness, and that's what makes it so interesting.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, we'll come back with you in just a little bit, Ken, to learn more about your experience and your role here in the support group.
Okay.
Okay. If we can, I'd like to go to Sarah Stiegel.
I was diagnosed back in 2013. My biggest symptom was my right arm hanging when I walked. And I went to my doctor, and she says, well, you got a little cog going on in your elbow. When you move your elbow, maybe you should go see a neurologist. So I did, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's. And it has...
May I ask at what age?
I was, I think, 59 at that time, 59, 60.
And forgive me for another brief interruption. Is there a kind of an age at which this starts to show up?
No.
Yes. Well, typically 59, 60, 61, that age. But more and more people are being diagnosed later in years. And I don't know why that is. I mean, many of us have had the symptoms for a long, long time.
Okay.
And they just have been developing the disease later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, please continue.
Oh, okay. Well, I became support group leader when John Roberts said, my symptoms are getting worse. Could you step in and help? Okay. He was running the meetings. So I stepped in to help. And 11, 12 years later, I'm still support group leader, co-leader. And it has been a wonderful experience for me. I love the people. And we have done our best over the years to provide speakers, to provide a good support group. Just a safe place where you can go and share your experiences with other people.
Thank you very, very, very much, sir. Ken Posey, tell us a little bit about your story, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah, I was diagnosed in 2017. I had a small tremor in my right hand, and I went to the doctor, and they diagnosed it as Parkinson's. And I've been lucky. I've been able to maintain pretty much with medication. And but my symptoms were so minor they decided to do a DAT scan, which is a brain scan.
Okay.
And it confirmed that I did have Parkinson's.
What do they see in there? How do they know?
Well, the top of the skull, it shows the amount of dopamine that your brain's producing, and it wasn't good. And then I got involved with Rocksteady Boxing in El Paso. Dr. Kathy Reyes Brooks was the owner of it, and it's been clinically proven that the exercise slows the progression of Parkinson's,
Okay.
and I believe that. And through John Cullen and everybody, I exercise twice a week. I play pickleball. I play golf. But anyway, Kathy Brooks asked me if I'd be interested in starting a support group on the west side in El Paso, and I told her yes, I'd be more than interested in helping people being able to communicate and have a place to go. And we had our first meeting in February of 2019, and we've grown ever since. And then I moved to Cruces, and the traveling back and forth was going to be kind of a problem. And so I decided to get involved with their group up here, and I kind of got weaned into it. And but I found two good people that would take over my group in El Paso,
That's good.
Okay.
because I didn't want to let it drop.
Sure.
We had a membership of about 94 and active about 45, and we were able to create relationships with these pharmaceutical reps that would bring doctors in from San Antonio, Dallas to speak on Parkinson's
Okay.
and to educate the people and give them hope.
Let's do John Cullen. John Cullen is the nephew of John Milius, who's in the studio with us today. And we interviewed Mr. Cullen on here with John in the studio, I think back in November. And he started an organization called IJP, It's Just Parkinson's, which is about the body and the spirit and how you keep moving, how you keep going, and how you don't just roll over. I guess some folks do, but you don't have to. And it was a very meaningful conversation. He's got a terrific documentary out, which we will have links in the archive of this program to Robert Yee's recent video of the local Parkinson's pickleball group. Thank you, Robert. And as well as John Cullen's interview and John Cullen's documentary, a really moving documentary.
You know, I try to accommodate one of our newer members. I couldn't go speak with her because we were going camping. And so Jennifer, our webmaster, went and met with her. So we try to accommodate, we try to answer questions. I get phone calls, people just having questions on, you know, what do I do?
Is it pretty profoundly emotionally impacting?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
very much so.
Yeah.
So is there a significant portion of the value of and the focus of the group on how to help people kind of hold that business together in addition to the exercise, which we will get to?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I always tell our groups when I'm speaking before them that this isn't my group, this is your group. And you need to give me input about what you want. And I've gotten my group in El Paso to open up and share their fears. That's what we're all about. We're all in a common denominator here, and let's get together and share what you feel, because a lot of people, because of their tremors and such, and stiffness, and they get this mask on their face, we need to talk about it. But I want people to talk about it and share their fears, and that's what the group's about.
gosh, what a valuable contribution, because that's got to be a huge impact when you get that diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It is. When I was diagnosed, I didn't think too much about it till I got home. And I got to looking up, researching Parkinson's, and I thought this is going to be a long ride.
Yeah.
But it's not going to get me down. John Cullen, when I watched his documentary, it was so inspiring
Yeah.
that through part of it, I got teary-eyed.
Me too.
Because I could feel the guy. I could feel the hurt, the frustration.
You relive the diagnosis.
And his profound commitment to not just folding up.
Right.
Because I guess, is there kind of a part of folks, some folks anyway, that just kind of want to curl up and say, well, that's it, I'm done, it's over?
Yeah, some people do, and but that's part of the support group role too, to get people to feeling that they go out in public, do what you need to do. Don't be ashamed of what your tremor or your slowness or your stiffness, but be proud of who you are, and we're going to fight this to the end.
And there seems to be, and this is perhaps consistent with other considerations as well, but there seems to be an emphasis in this local Parkinson's support group and with what John Cullen brought to not be ashamed, to not let that drag you down, close you off, shut you, isolate you.
That's one of the worst things is isolation, and that goes for all of us. But a lot of people, once they start having difficulty eating, getting food from the plate to the mouth because of tremors, they will stay home, miss events because of that embarrassment. I've had to ask for a spoon because I couldn't keep the food on a fork. You just ask for it and you eat the best you can. But isolation is the worst thing. That's why we have a 20-minute break at our meetings, and that's why I start the meetings early, open the doors early, and we'll run over if we need to. And we've got the exercise, and we have a new member who wants to play games. And so that's another thing we need to start organizing or help him organize, is getting together with others who want to play the same games.
No, there's no cure for it right now. They're doing a lot of studies, clinical studies and such, and it's just they don't have a cure for it yet.
Okay.
And we're like snowflakes. There's no two of us alike. I might have tremors, John might have stiffness, and that's what makes it so interesting.
Okay.
Anything that probably you won't get in pickleball, she does in her class. We play ball, which is good for hand-eye coordination, big beach ball. And it's just a good all-around class. There's a meditation at the end, so that's good. We have rock steady boxing, and we have line dancing. Line dancing's been going for just about 2 months now, and there's no charge for that, for those lessons. And of course, the biggie right now is pickleball. We have a professional player, John Milius, also is there to help instruct and play pickleball with us, and it's just great. His wife is our scorekeeper, and it's all volunteer.
That's her role at home too.
And pickleball is a lot of fun, and each of these different exercise groups have formed their own little support group. So everybody has their own little support system. I may have one going to pickleball but not going to Carol's class, but that's okay because they're getting the support from pickleball, and those in Carol's class get it from her class. We've got some really strong bonds between our members. Yeah.
Fantastic. Go ahead. Did you have something else you were going to say?
No, I was just trying to think if there was another exercise class, but that's it right now. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot.
So these classes are tremendous. Rock steady boxing. We go in, we do exercises to warm up, and then they do shadow boxing, and then we put on the gloves, and actually they have a routine to where it's stretching and boxing both, and they're very intense, and it's good for you. But I was going to mention too, this is Parkinson's Awareness Month, but for people with Parkinson's, every month's Awareness Month. It's ongoing all the time, and I always share with the group that before I had Parkinson's, I didn't think twice about dressing, brushing my teeth, the simple things in life we do all the time. But ever since I've had Parkinson's, I've got to pre-think everything I do because maybe my hands aren't nimble enough to button a shirt, but I find a different way to button a shirt. I'm determined that there's alternatives to eating, dressing, taking care of yourself, and it's a mind game when you get into this thing.
So folks may not realize that it's constant, that every single aspect of your function in a day is or can be influenced.
Right. You just everything you used to do normally, it's not that way anymore.
Sarah talked about picking up a fork or a spoon. You talk about buttoning your shirt. These are things, yeah, that probably most of us just kind of take for granted.
Yeah. Well, I did before I had it, but you don't realize the difference until you do have it. And but there's ways to overcome.
What do you see in that realm and the ways to overcome? Exercise.
Oh, I exercise. I do rock steady boxing on Mondays and Fridays. They have an open gym on Wednesdays.
So if any of y'all ever run into Ken on the street, don't pick on him.
I'll be the first to run.
But please, go ahead.
But it's a mind game. And like I say, if you're going to eat, maybe as it progresses, you develop other things that you have to do differently. It changes your life.
It's reassessing and accepting, I think,
Right.
all the time.
So just growing up, living, getting older calls for reassessing and accepting and change. And it seems that when you add Parkinson's into the mix, it kind of turns up the heat on that process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I sew, and one of my things I have to deal with, in fact, my husband bought me electric scissors because to do the scissor motion, my hand won't always do up and down. It just doesn't work. And many a time I've had to ask him to help me because my hand just doesn't work. And one
So
thing,
what about that asking for help thing, if I may? Is that a big issue for people?
well, we had a discussion on this, I think, at our last meeting about asking for help because people want to be independent. They don't want to ask for help.
Right.
But by golly, if you need help doing something, ask. There are people who are willing to help. My husband, he'll bend over backwards to help me. He tells me, you just have to ask. Well, I want to do it myself. Well,
Well, and that's natural.
Yeah, it is. It's very natural. But I think, there are things that you can do yourself and you probably should. But for the things that are more complicated, more difficult, where you could hurt yourself or fall, you need to just break down and ask for help. And it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell the group, like I said earlier, to share your experiences because somebody sitting next to you might have that same problem. And that's what the support group is about giving out your ideas about what you're experiencing so that the guy that's sitting next to you might have the same thing or something else to share with you and ways they've overcome it. So it's a challenge.
Well, I'm in awe. I'm in awe and grateful for what you guys are doing for folks in this community, both within the Parkinson's support group element and beyond. I mean, folks, you have Parkinson's that isn't. There's it seems like Mr. Cullen works with the idea that having Parkinson's disease can become your identity.
Yes.
Yes.
And that you don't want that,
No.
Am I reflecting that accurately?
Yeah, I don't want people, my friends, to look at me like it's just Parkinson's. I've got other parts of my being that are good and still going. And that's what I try and get people to share with.
So you would like people to say, yeah, Ken, you know Ken, don't you know? I'm not sure I do. Well, he just moved from El Paso to Cruces, and he's got this background and this history. You know, as compared to, Ken, the guy with Parkinson's,
Right.
Yeah.
that becomes it has the capacity to become one's identity.
Yeah. Well, so many of us, you would not know, especially at the pickleball court, you would not know that they have Parkinson's.
That's neat.
Yeah. You get your meds right and you get out there exercising, you get the dopamine going.
What do the meds do?
The meds help make dopamine or give you dopamine. What I did, I'll tell you a little story here real quick. I got tired of people asking me, have you taken your meds? And for
You're tired of people trying to help you.
yes. Well, I was taking meds 4 to 5 times a day. I was dealing with continuous release, extended release, 4 different dosages. And it became so complicated. Then you're trying to figure out when you can have your protein during the day so it doesn't interfere with the medication because your body digests the protein first, pill second. So I went to AbbVie and had this duopa, internal suspension pump put on me. And so I get my medicine through a tube into my belly all day long, up to 16 hours a day. I don't have off times anymore. I can regulate my own medication.
So it makes a big difference.
It's a huge difference. Oh my gosh, because my off times, I would be down for the count. I couldn't do anything for 1.5 to 2 hours. It would come on and then I'd have to wait for the medicines to kick in. And it was horrible. And I carry this pump around with me, but it's worth it because I can go all day now. And I don't have to worry about meals. I don't have to worry about taking meds, and people aren't reminding me to take my meds all the time.
Yeah, because usually you have to take them 4 to 5 times a day, every 4 hours. You don't want to take them an hour before you eat or an hour after you eat because it produces dopamine in your system, and some of the medication extends it to where it lasts longer. And but it is. Sarah makes fun of me now because she doesn't have to take a pill box and take pills out of it, but I still do. And you've got to remember it because you got highs and lows. My speaker went out. My mic.
She's got you.
But yeah, you've got highs and lows to the medication, and when it starts wearing off, you start to get more of a tremor. And
slow down. Slow down, yeah.
But another thing about people getting it at 59 and older, the older you get, your body changes anyway. Mm-hmm. So you don't know whether it's Parkinson's related or age related.
Yeah.
There's a gray area.
Yeah.
And but the medication really helps you survive.
Yeah.
What do you think about all this, Mr. Milius, as a long-standing member and supporter of the Parkinson support projects and your situation with your nephew? What are you hearing? What are you seeing here locally? What stands out?
Well, I've been a part of this organization for about 3 years, and I've learned a lot, and I've seen a lot of progress, especially like with pickleball. Speaking of pickleball, I'd like to throw in a little blurb here. We were the first city in the state, and we were also the first state in the United States to have pickleball. And now it's gone nationwide, and thanks to Robert, he's done a great job on this little video, and we're going to send that out to different organizations in the United States, and that helps get the word out.
Yeah.
The movement.
Pickleball for Parkinson's.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we've said, it slows down the progression, and it also slows down some of the medication. So, I've been
Thank you. How prevalent is Parkinson's disease in our population today? Is it a big thing?
Oh yeah,
And
there's
growing.
Yes, it is growing.
there's I'm trying to think of the numbers, but there's millions of people that have Parkinson's, and there's a lot of people we're trying to reach out to and bring into the group that aren't aware of what we do.
Mhm.
And this radio program is a great way to get the word out to people and get them to come in and for help.
Mhm.
We have a lot of speakers. We had a speaker talk on delusions and hallucinations.
Can you send that person to Washington, please?
Well, I have delusions that I can play golf, but that doesn't happen.
Well, I make humor about that. However, that's a big thing, isn't it?
Yes, because we had a lady speak to us about this, and one of our members was having problems, and she took this information to her neurologist and solved the problem. And so we try and get speakers to come in to educate our people about new medication, new procedures and stuff like that, and keep everybody up to date, and possibly help somebody that's on medication that they could be on other medication to help them compete with this thing.
Speaking of that, I actually went with 2 people to their doctors to help them get on another medication or help them with their diagnosis.
And that's an example of support that may not be visible. I mean, we can see the pickleball group, we can see the monthly meetings, things behind the scene, people just detecting, picking up, communicating, being there to help folks navigate and manage, whether they're new or they've been at it for a while.
Yeah. Well, you see these people having these problems, and you know that this pill could help. And typically, when we go to the doctor, we're in and on time, and so we're looking really good. We're looking like regular people. And 2 visits ago to my doctor, he said, "You looked fine until I had you stand up and start moving." And it's just on where you are in your cycle of
In
your
that moment.
medication.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they see you when you're looking good, but you need to be seen when you're really at your worst.
So you're looking good a whole lot more these days since you got your pump.
Yes.
And in this program today, we're speaking again with Sarah Stiegel, Ken Posey, and John Mamilius. And again, lots of links to information about these considerations will be included in the archive of this program, which you can find at lccommunityradio.org. So it's growing. The local support community is growing.
We get a new member or 2 almost every month. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot.
Do you think there are a lot of folks who are avoiding, acknowledgement, acceptance, facing up to the situation and staying away from groups?
I do believe that. And this program we're doing today reaches out to people and let them know we're here to help them. I think a lot of people do stay away from it because they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And so with our support group, we want to make people feel open and free to discuss their situations and not hide it. And I think that's what we do well.
I think it's part of the culture here to keep your problems at home and take care of your family business at home instead of going out and sharing it with a support group.
Shame, stigma.
Yeah.
And we find that in a lot of different respects.
I've never been embarrassed by Parkinson's. I'm more like, I was devastated with the diagnosis. But there again, acceptance.
Do people go through these phases like anger,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
grief,
Yes.
Well, frustration.
frustration?
Yeah, grief, your life has changed. You know, you can't see it at the beginning how it will change, but definitely your life has changed.
And it's really frustrating, I guess.
Yeah, but with the support group, you begin to find out that you can change and reach out to anybody, and you don't care what people think. This is just the way it is for me, and you either like it or you don't.
That's another one of those things you might not be able to distinguish from just getting older.
Right.
Right.
You just get to where you don't care what people think.
Yeah. True. Very true.
Really?
But all humor aside, that's an important obstacle to overcome. Yes.
Yes.
This is who I am today, you know. I have a little story.
Sure.
It's just Parkinson's. We had gone camping with friends. We were up in Colorado. My day to choose the place. Well, of course, I choose a waterfall. That's, I think, a 2-hour drive one way, then a half a mile up the hillside to get to the waterfall. And it was raining. So I did fine going all the way up. I was with my husband, Mike, our camping buddy, and 2 German shepherds. Got up to the top. My meds had worn off.
Oh.
I was just like stuck. You know, I was just, I was, I hoped my meds would last all the way through, but they didn't. And so they helped me get down. I went very slowly, and I had, you know, man in front, man in back, got all the way to the bottom, and I froze. I looked up and saw a couple walking towards us. All they're doing is walking, and I couldn't decide which direction to go around them. I mean, it's simple. I couldn't decide, and I just stopped, and then I couldn't get going again. My feet wouldn't move. And so I do what I do best, and I started crying. And the woman was so concerned. She said, "What can we do? How can we help? You know, what do you need?" And I said, "I'll be okay." I told her, "It's just Parkinson's." And Richard came back and got me, and I started walking again. But it's just one of those things. You never know when it's going to hit. And you just deal with it.
Well, we take our functionality, perhaps most of us, for the longest time, for granted.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I do. This is something I've always done. This is something I'll always be able to do. And whether it's Parkinson's or something else that comes along with living and aging, it isn't always so. It's not always going to be true.
No.
Right.
No. Things change rapidly. And having a support group, you've got a place to where people can congregate. They know that you have Parkinson's. We can share stories, get information to them, share our exercise programs with them, and just it creates a different world for them.
Gosh, yeah, a world of inclusivity.
Yeah.
That's a dirty word now, isn't it? Inclusivity. Is it still okay with the FCC today if we use that word so far? Just checking. So we made a couple of references to aging, and today's kind of a special day, isn't it, Ken?
Yes, for me. I've aged.
You're aging? Today's your birthday.
I'm aging as we're speaking.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
Can you tell us how many you are?
Yeah, 78 years young.
78, man, that's awesome.
Yeah. I still play golf. I play pickleball. Exercise. That's the key to this.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to stay active.
Yeah.
It's just Parkinson's, but you got to do your part. And to do your part, we got the support groups, and it helps people open up.
So the support groups obviously provide welcome and information and support and assistance and caring for folks who are newly diagnosed.
Newly diagnosed, or a lot more people move to Las Cruces and look us up and find us.
Okay.
And we have a few posters hanging in some of the doctor's offices.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's great if the doctors will refer them to our meetings. We hope for that.
And you, as you described, I think it was you, Ken, earlier said, it's across the spectrum. Some people, the symptoms might be minimal. Some people, it's greater. And when folks come to the one of the support groups or support group functions, they must be able to just kind of take a deep breath and go, I'm with people who get it, with
Yeah.
people who understand.
People who are like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it allows people to open up. And when you open up and you get stronger in being able to go out in public by yourself, and that's what our intention is, to give people hope and a scenario to where they can open up, discuss without a fear of being riddled, and it's just good. In a Parkinson's support group, you see everybody relax, and we try and get speakers to come in that will educate us, all of us, and but Sarah's done a wonderful job with this support group, and in Cruces she's really got a unique program going on. And we had one in El Paso too, so we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Well, take just a moment again to thank you, Sarah, for all your investment and contribution and giving to the local group and the local folks. And thank you, Ken, for coming in and picking up the ball and carrying the ball forward.
Yes.
In Sarah's absence, we're grateful.
I'll never be able to fit in her shoes, but we can carry on her progress that she's made.
We'll all be trying to do the best we can to
Yeah.
follow up on it.
Yes. I feel very comfortable leaving it in these guys' hands. My board, I've got a great board, and I've got Ken now to take the helm, and I feel very good about moving on. And I've told my members I'm always available, email, telephone, whatever. I'm not going off the edge of the earth. I'm just going out of town, essentially. We'll be back. We still have family here, and I'm still available.
Tell us, if you will, what is how does the person find the local Parkinson support group information online?
We have a website, and it is pdsgsnm.org.
Parkinson's group support.
We now have a 501c3 designation, so our name has changed a little bit.
Okay.
But our old name is still out there on the website, Parkinson's Disease Support Group of Southern New Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there should be a way to cross-reference. I don't know how websites work, but
I believe if you just type in Parkinson's Support Group, Southern New Mexico,
yeah,
it comes
it'll
right up.
come up.
And
Yeah.
we will, of course, include links to that
Okay.
in the archive of this program that
Yeah.
people can see and use and share readily. We're not hoarding this.
Yeah, I told Sarah that whenever she's traveling, when she gets back in town, she just steps right in. I'll let her have the helm.
Yeah, he told me that. He's already looking forward to a break.
Go play some golf.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. So we're going to have to wrap up here in a few minutes, but what else would you like to add today with us, Mr. Milius?
Well, it's just been a real pleasure and an honor working with Sarah and getting to know Ken. And we're going to miss Sarah. And welcome aboard, Ken.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very good, very good. So the next meeting is
May, the third Tuesday
third Tuesday in May.
in May, yes.
Okay.
And I don't have them memorized, the dates,
You
but
get
we
with
all
the
have the same
program, Sarah.
calendar,
Come on.
third Tuesday.
I can't remember what tomorrow's Tuesday, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you've got the the standing group
Right,
that's
the
been
large
meeting for a
support
long time,
Mhm.
and then you've got the
Newly diagnosed support group
and that's on
On
a
the
different
fourth-
day.
the fourth Tuesday from 10 to 11 at
Okay.
solstice.
Now, let's imagine that I'm not a person who is experiencing Parkinson's disease. However, someone I know, love, care about, a family member is. How can I?
You
learn
are
more?
welcome to join us.
Yes.
Friends, family, children, whatever. If you are interested in learning about Parkinson's, if you're a student at NMSU, you are welcome to join us. Yes.
Okay, so that's
Mhm.
an
We are happy
open
to share.
invitation.
Mhm.
Yes.
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 And do you find that a lot of folks do that? A lot of folks who are not directly affected immediately in their own bodies do show up.
Well, typically it's for the person, their loved one, or their friend. We have a couple of people whose friend joins them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is an aspect or an element of what's happening in our culture, in our communities, in our families, in our neighborhoods, that is profoundly significant and is being addressed.
Yeah, more and more people are being diagnosed with Parkinson's. And that's what makes it important to have these support groups for a place to go, to a place to fit in, and to get all the information you can. And that's why we try and bring in different speakers each month and to educate our folks of what's available to them, what can be available, and to make everybody feel welcome.
Well, in our current days, the way our government is running, folks who stand up and look out for people, support people, care about people, give, are at a premium. So what you're doing is really, really important.
Yeah. And I am so grateful to have this experience. It's not only helped my people, but it's helped me. Yeah.
All right, we're going to get wound out here in just a couple more minutes. So, but before we go, I would like to ask of each of you, Sarah and Ken, what would you leave us with as a closing thought?
Well, for me, Parkinson's has made me a better person because I understand the weaknesses you can have and what a disease can do to you. But I've met so many nice people in the Parkinson's community that I wouldn't trade for anything. So it's enriched my life. Even though it's something that's incurable, I've learned a lot, and I learned a lot from people, observing people. It's been a blessing. Blessing.
Thank you. Sarah?
I don't know what words of wisdom to impart, but I think if you just avoid isolation, come to a support group, live your life, exercise, stay healthy, drink a lot of water, take your meds, all those things, it will be okay.
Thank you. Mr. Milius, would you give us a closing thought?
Well,
Thank
like
you.
I've said before, I've learned a lot over these last 3 years from Ken and Sarah and John Cullen. And I want to thank Robert for the video that he did with the Parkinson pickleball. And thank you, Randy Harris, for the radio program. And I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very, very much. Really appreciate you folks being here today. This is a moment of warmth, of connection, of caring and giving and sharing that is a delight to experience, particularly in our current days. So thank you very, very much. Folks, we're going to wind up here, and I want to say go to lccommunityradio.org. Explore more about this station and these programs, and consider being an underwriter or a volunteer with us. It's it's a remarkable process. And thanks to all the folks who contributed on Giving Tuesday. We're all trying to put our best foot forward and do the best we can in trying times. And with that, I'm going to say we can go ahead and wrap up. Grateful to you, Sarah Stiegel,
Thank you.
Ken Posey, John Milius, Robert Yee, Cindy Smith, and all the folks that make this station and this community work.
I would like to add a thank you to our volunteer coaches, Coach Levy,
Yeah.
Carol Witham,
Okay.
Rocksteady Boxing, line dancing, Erica.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. With that, we're out, folks, and we will look forward to seeing you again next Monday. Thank you so much.